Welcome to round 7 of the Star Realms Dodgeball League. You've missed the unboxing, which Al went through without interruption at all, of course. Um, and the tea, again, you've probably missed that if you arrived late, like you have, because we're not doing one round of show necessarily all the time. So and I know we've been here, Al, but let's take a look at where we left it at the end of round 6. As we go into round 7, it's a Nightmare on Realm Street and Mid Thromar as the undefeated teams, followed by Blobadook and Stramborg Catchler on 4 wins. We've got Rocky Horror Picture Throw and the Bulls Have Eyes on 3 wins each, following closely by Invasion of the Dodgy Catchers and the Catch Assist on 2 wins each, and then sitting down at the bottom, holding everyone up together, it's A Girl Who Dodgeballs Alone at Night and Hannibal's, both all winless. So, as we said, we've gone through the tea at the start of the show. I did go through everything in the inbox. So we're going to go straight into court 1, and Al, it's you up again, and it's Rocky Horror Picture Throw versus the Bulls Have Eyes, otherwise known as Golden Balls in the match description. What have I got here? You called Corey Bear out for trying to rob you of a mission. That's right. When he wrote up the race victory, he gave you 0 missions, and you were like, "Well, hang on a minute. I clearly got 1 mission."
I believe this was the same week. It kicked off the same weekend that the NCAA men's basketball tournament kicked off. So a lot of us were distracted, including Corey, who
I
we
think
were racing,
confessed.
and he sent me this picture of this giant. He was in Vegas and this giant big screen TV, and I was just like, great, this is great. And then he robs me of a mission. I was like, all right, we're not. I was like, I don't care.
We're no longer okay.
I don't care how big of a screen you're watching basketball on.
Fantastic. So it doesn't start well for the Rocky Horror Picture Throw as Rip takes a race victory, but Agent Sato, Corey Bear, Starmark, PC Load Letter, Tuna Slap, and Slavic all take race balls for the other team. So Tuna Slap, coming out of the gates like a rocket, eliminates Darth Kronos before anyone's had a chance to breathe. And then I think there's a couple of Baggio dodges Starmark, and Starmark dodges Baggio's return ball. Corey Bear misses Markbot before Baggio, last round's money ball, catches Starmark and revives Darth Kronos. So, not satisfied with 2 catches last round, Al, he's at it again, straight into the catch zone, getting rid of an early death and bringing Kronos back. What a blow for the morale of the opposition. It's always hard, isn't it, when you get someone out and then they immediately come back, just immediately. The Slavic, though, eliminates Dion Lunsford as Darth Kronos, the freshly revived, catches Slavic and revives Dion Lunsford. So Dion, his buttocks barely touch the bench and he's back in the game. Corey Bear misses Markbot. Now I've got, as the throw begins, Corey Bear's apparently tries to blame Markbot for his unsuccessful gambling habit. I think that must pertain to something in the game that maybe there was a bit of chaos, or he was gambling on or something, or he was too busy gambling on basketball and missed Lethal. But either way, he misses Markbot as well as Lethal. But Agent Sato doesn't, and he eliminates Markbot. Everyone's favorite droid, taking 1 for the team. Rip, though, dodges Tuna Slap's throw as Baggio, insatiable, eliminates Starmark. Now, Thestral dodges. We've got this dodge is here. He dodges Rip's ball, and you dodge Agent Sato's ball before Thestral eliminates Darth Kronos, and Corey Bear dodges Darth Kronos' zombie ball. Dion Lunsford dodging Corey Bear's ball, Corey Bear missing Baggio, PC Load Letter missing Clever Missy, Thestral dodging the throw from Rip, and Agent Sato catches Baggio and revive Starmark before you take the tuner out for a slap. Um,
Mhm.
and then Al, oh, we're not quite there yet, but you do something a bit naughty, don't you? Dion Lunsford dodges Sir Thestral's throw before Rip dodges Sir Thestral's throw, and Clever Missy dodges PC Load Letter's throw. And now Al, um, I always enjoy seeing this, but you hurt the ones you love. And
Oh
not
no.
only the ones you love, a fellow librarian. You eliminate
Yes.
Agent Sato. That's got to feel like a double betrayal. Not only a friend, but a fellow bibliophile, and you take him down.
I did feel kind of bad about that one.
How bad, though? Not bad enough to kind of apologize slightly gloatingly.
Nah.
I mean, I don't think Ian's going to stay big mad at you for long, but still.
No.
Moving swiftly on, Dion Lunsford can't take PC Load Letter out of the game, but Corey Bear, again, an ex teammate, takes out Baggio 10, and he doesn't really seem very apologetic about it either.
No.
You catch Corey Bear, though, as just desserts for his meddling with the Bagged Man, before Agent Sato's Zombie Ball eliminates Clever Missy. Dion Lunsford missing PC Load Letter, Starmark dodging Rip, but Dion Lunsford eliminates Sir Thestral and dodges Starmark's return ball. Rip missing Starmark and PC Load Letter dodging Dion Lunsford's ball. Rip, though, catches Slavic and revives Markbot 3000, who gets back in the game off the bench, but can't take Slavic out on the return ball. You, however, do eliminate Starmark, whilst Slavic dodges Markbot 3000's throw. Dion Lunsford dodges the throw from PC Load Letter, and Slavic eliminates Markbot 3000, who's only just recently been revived. PC Load Letter, though, dodges Dion Lunsford. Dion Lunsford misses PC Load Letter. Dion Lunsford dodges PC Load Letter. Slavic dodges Rip. Slavic eliminates you. You miss Slavic on the zombie ball. But you don't miss PC Load Letter, who you take out of the game. PC Load Letter dodges Dion Lunsford's ball, which at that point is surely that's just avoiding the double tap, right?
Yeah.
Rip dodges Slavic's ball, but Dion Lunsford catches and eliminates Slavic as Slavic eliminates Rip, and Dion is left standing, man alive, amongst the golden balls, and wins the game.
Yeah.
Game-winning catch.
It was right down to the wire there.
That was a long game as well. There was a lot going on in that game.
There was a lot of I mean, my team alone, 5 catches, and it was
Yeah.
5 different players too. Each got a catch.
Oh yeah, that's crazy. Yeah,
Yeah.
there was a lot of a lot of long games this round as well.
Yeah.
And just in terms of actions. But yeah, that was definitely one of them. So I mean, again, I'm asking you to give an award to one of your teammates, but who's the teammate who's getting the award, Al?
Mm,
It's not going to be you, is it? Or is it?
no.
Did you give it to
I mean,
yourself?
well, technically, I did get 4 hits and a catch. But um you know, rule number 1 of dodgeball is have fun. Rule number 2 of dodgeball is Al never gets an MVP. I
Al,
know
you
in
promised.
my team like even said like you have to have the MVP. So I guess I get the MVP this round.
In your face, Al. You played well enough that you couldn't avoid it. Fantastic.
Yeah.
I mean, 4
I
hits
mean,
and
I
a
kind of
catch.
wanted to give it to Dion. He was the last man standing, and you know he had good stats too. He had a hit and he had a catch.
But that's not 4 hits and
Um,
a catch, is it?
that that is true.
That's not 4 hits and a catch. So I think it's fair if you award yourself the MVP. Rookie numbers. Oh, Simon, what have you got going on this round? Should we take a look?
Oh, I can check his.
Oh yeah,
Let's
let's
see
check. Let's check.
here.
Let's check Billy Big Ball's stats before he goes.
Uh, uh, Guianos. Let's see. Oh, he had a winning record. He won 2 games and only lost 1. He got a hit,
But he
and
didn't get 4 hits, did he?
No, he didn't.
He didn't get 4 hits. Don't bring
He didn't even
facts.
play 4 games.
Don't bring facts into this discussion. Taking a leaf out of Super Grandma's book, I see. Which brings
So
us.
Dion shows up just to make sure I give myself the MVP, and then he's leaving
And
again.
then he dives out
That's
for work. Yeah, splits for work.
yeah.
Amazing. Well, we're going to move to court two. We've got Invasion
All
of the
right.
Dodgy Catchers versus Mid Thromar, one of the undefeated teams here. Now, Al, before we start this game, who's your favorite liar in Star Realms? Maybe even Star Realms Dodgeball.
Um, favorite
Your
liar.
favorite liar.
Oh, it's tough because it's usually me because I usually lie to myself all the time. Like, this is fine. I can stop playing at any moment.
Everything's
I
fine
know if
here.
I trigger this thing, it's not gonna like trigger this draw, it's not gonna be a scout.
Yeah,
Just I'm full of lies. However, I believe you're asking about is the most super of grandmas.
indeed. Super Grandma, the known liar Super Grandma, is probably your favorite liar in all of Dodgeball. However, the second best liar in all of Dodgeball might just be Osmosis Brent, um, who allegedly, who allegedly hits BPB with a ball he hasn't even won yet before the races have begun. And under a commissioner investigation, it's found out that this is in fact a ladder game and nothing to do with dodgeball at all. But he posted it in the thread before any of the races had concluded.
Here's my question. Do you think Brent like plays ladder games like just looking for screenshots to take? Like he's not even interested in leveling up. He's just
Unequivocally,
looking for
yes.
dodgeball players. When he gets a win, he screenshots it and then saves it for another time.
Yeah. Although he's looking to find a game against JD Dunsany so he can bring it out when he plays JP Runs. Funny, like I think
Yeah.
Brent is actually like one of the best long-term planners in Star Realms because I think he's literally looking for that material so that he's got it right to hand for his dodgeball game. Uh, but
Like
yeah,
we're gonna have to look at these screenshots now to make sure. Like even remember when the cards were flat and they weren't 3D and
yeah,
like the
yeah,
like you have to check for that now.
yeah, absolutely. But yes, Osmosis Brent's win against BPB is total rhubarb, as determined by the commissioner, who determines that that is in fact a ranked game and nothing to do with the dodgeball game. However, as part of the investigation, we do learn, Al, that BPB keeps meticulous records of their games. So,
Hmm.
all of you, you're being watched. If you've played BPB at all, you're on his spreadsheet. Facts. Ben's got your number. Um, Oh, that's right. So then Sethestral, part of this this is a long chain of Sethestral actually drags Super Grandma into this, claiming that the veracity of the win can't be clarified because clearly that's a screenshot and screenshots don't count. At which point Super Grandma clarifies that if only he'd drawn in it on crayon, that it could be qualified and quantified as art and therefore not a screenshot, and then it would count as evidence. And then Brent did win his race, but no one believed him. So, the boy who cried wolf, right? So, with all that said and done, we've got am I even on the right game? Am I on the right game? I'm not on the right game. We're on This is the right game, I believe. Penguin, Jace. No. Why is that?
No.
No, that's not right. Well, it says it's right. It doesn't say it's right. It says it's wrong. And I totally failed. I had one job, Al. That's the only job I had.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is the aforementioned technical difficulties. It's just me not being prepared enough. So whilst I whilst I whilst I find that game, because apparently when you search for a thread in Facebook, uh, I can be specific, and I can search for season 10 round 7, and Facebook will literally give me in the Dodgeball Facebook page just all of the season 10 games.
So here's what I love is when we were having the fundraiser for prizes for Dodgeball, people were very generous, and some people even asked if they could donate extra money for our show because they thought the equipment was the problem and we needed to upgrade
Oh, bless them.
and I was like, I don't think they're like, do you need new microphones? Is that why you guys like are muted sometimes or have echoes? I'm like, no.
I mean,
I don't think the microphones are the problem.
they could be the problem, but let's eliminate all the human error first before we go
Yeah.
to
I
any
was like,
kind of technical
maybe if we
upgrades.
spent more than 5 minutes setting up the show,
Well, look at what happened when we
we
sat
might be
down.
okay.
We actually sat down outside the show and was like, okay, Al, we're going to kill this echo. Let's work it out. And we did it. And it didn't actually take
Yeah, and we did it.
too terribly long. But when we actually applied, when we applied ourselves to a problem, we overcame it. We just, I'm not saying it's not our priority. It's just, obviously we don't get
I mean,
there all the time. So,
yeah.
anyway, now I have the right sheet up thanks to Al's magnificent padding.
Well,
And we see that Osmosis Brent, Sturrock, Lux, and Dakaran all won their race balls, although no one really believed that Osmosis Brent did. And BPB and CJK Flyer and Lex of the Nevils also won their race balls. So, um, yeah, there's some epic songs in this one. So this is the one where after all the races are done, Brent gives everyone on his team an Andrew Lloyd Webber persona. Um, and then does a Phantom of the Opera intro to the race, while Sturrock pens a "Don't Cry for Me Argentina" adaptation for the race as well. And it's honestly, if you're looking for a good read, just go into that thread, round 7, court 2, and just take a look at what's going on there because it's just genius. It's absolutely fantastic. Um, Now I don't know I don't know what's happened at the start of this game, but Jael somehow manages to get like 4 or 5 bulls off before anyone's done anything. Lux oh meanwhile, all of that's going on, and Lux can't even be asked to post his race win. Um so Brent probably wrote, enough for a sonnet, and Starrick's getting on the action. Jael Jelly's writing poetry to VQ, and Lux couldn't even post his race win. So well done, Mr. Blumfield. But we've got Jael dodges Dakaran's throw, Dakaran getting us off to the races, and then Jael misses VQ not once, not twice, but thrice before BPB misses Dakaran. Sarah T dodges the throw from CJK Flyer before Jael eliminates VQ. Now there's a bit of backstory here, I think, because Je- Jelly Jelly, not satisfied with cheating his way to a round 6 victory, has also apparently been cheating on VQ's stream. Something about missions and just terrible misfortune for VQ, which I think we now all can agree is heavily suspect from backdoor Jelly. Um, but he also uses this to his advantage again in round 7, where on the 4th attempt and the 4th bite of the cherry, he takes down VQ and tries to mop it up with a lovely poem to her, to try and make it all better. Um, but it's not having any of it. He even goes as far as to say that she's his favorite Thursday streamer, and I'm not sure that she buys it either because she can see through his nonsense. Um, so we'll see if she buys that long term. But honestly, borderline stalking. To be honest, you're not kidding. Jelly, Jelly definitely going hard on the. To be fair though, the poetry's quite good. I quite enjoyed reading his poetry. He might have a hidden talent there. Um, Wheels dodges Jael's throw as Jael tries to get in on some wheelie action, but Dan's not having any of that, and he takes Jelly's head clean off, stopping all the nonsense and sending him homewards. BPB misses Dakaran, clearly fixated with a graphic design potential of that ball. Lex Neville dodges Wheels. BPB dodges Osmosis Brent's attentions on the first time, and I can't. It might be later on, but I think it might be later on. But it's there's a period of play in this where Brent and BPB are playing games, and it's something like um, beaten by Brent. Does BPB stand for beaten by Brent? Or hang on. I wrote so much for this. Oh, that's right. It's too early. Oh, there we go. What do what do we think BPB stands for, Al? Is it Big Pouty Benched Guy, or is it Ben Pummels Brent?
I think it is the pummeling one.
Do you think it or do you hope it?
A little of both.
maybe a little of both. Well, before that happens, Lux claims Lex Neville is holding too many balls. So Neville fires. So Lex Neville fires back at Lux after Lux has thrown the format Neville at Lex Neville. And this is where Alderin pops up and claims that he's watching his game because he's bored, which is usually bad news because it usually means they've been steamrolled whoever they've been playing against. So that's probably not good news for their opponents this round. Lux, however, does hit Neville and puts on the thong song to challenge Bartos, who then catches him, presumably as a punishment, putting on the thong song. I can't think of any other reason why that would happen, but in between all of those shenanigans, Lex Neville's eliminated Dakaran. Cisco catches Lux. There we go. Reviving Jael. Oh no, the cheater's back. BPB eliminates Sarah T. Lex Neville takes out Lux. JP runs funny, misses Sturrock. CJK Flyer misses Osmosis Brent. BPB catches Osmosis Brent, reviving Lex Neville, and it was in fact not a pouty benched guy. It was Ben Pummels Brent, quite vociferously. Guianos, hello, eliminates VQ, who got revived at some point. Jael, though, misses Wheels. Osmosis Brent dodges the throw from Cisco Alvarez, and Jael misses Wheels again before Jael eliminates Wheels. So Wheels having this unfortunate habit now, both in the last round and this round, Al, of taking out his target only to be taken out by his revived target later on. That's some jolly unfortunate luck there for Dan Wheelock. It's almost like a hoodoo on the boy. Guianis, though, during his hit, I think self-incriminates himself in both a sex scandal and a motor vehicle incident, and that's before he even hit VQ again. And I can't even with this game anymore. Like, what is going on? The game thread then takes a little bit of a turn for the bizarre, and I know it's been perfectly straight and narrow up to now, Al, but Brent dubs himself Jesus, delighting in the Bible Bell as he tries to turn balls to bread. So if he offers you any tasty buns, Al, I feel like that's a double no, right? It's got to be.
Oh, that was a no before.
That was the no before. And Brent's waiting.
So wait a minute. I want to be sure the match isn't over yet, and we've already brought up backdoor jelly, Brent's tasty buns. Where are we going next?
Well, I don't know if Osmosis Brent was psychic and knowing that this show would air on Easter or not, but he declares himself Jesus. Declares that he's going to resurrect himself, but it's not Easter yet, so that there's no Easter bunny to lay chocolate eggs on him in the well-known fertility ritual of resurrection. So he's actually finally dead, but not before eliminating BPB and Lex Neville. But BPB with his zombie ball does get Brent, and Brent gets Cisco Alvarez as well. So Brent was the last man standing, declared himself to be the messiah of Dodgeball and his team. and then in his defense took out like three of the opposition. Um,
Yeah.
but wanted to get the job done even after he'd been hit, so then declared himself to be resurrected again. But it hadn't been 3 days and it wasn't Easter, so I feel like it didn't work. Oh, and also the rules say that's not how it works. Um, so that if you want a good giggle, that game thread is absolutely hilarious. It's got it all. It's got songs, it's got poetry, it's got cheating, it's got absolutely hat stand tactics from Brent. That one is an absolute treat. Um, but it did end in if you managed to pass through all of that, it did end in a victory to Mid Thromar, staying undefeated. Sex scandal allegedly Guianos. Um, but Al, the big question on literally no one's lips is who's the MVP?
Uh, ooh. Uh-huh. There were a few people. I mean, I gotta say, Brent did a great job. He did get 3 hits and a
He
catch.
really did, but he wasn't on the winning
However,
team, was he?
he wasn't on the winning team.
Which I always find as a
So in
hindrance to
that
being named
case,
MVP.
yeah. So instead, we're giving it to the person that beat him, and that would be BPB with 2 hits and a catch.
Ben Blysterveld, the spreadsheet man, getting in there.
Yeah.
Well, congratulations to him. Um, that's right. I forgot about this.
Yeah.
I'm laughing because I was already looking at Court 3, which is Stramborker's Catchula versus the Blobberdukes. Now, Al, I got slightly confused when I was looking through the threads today because, in all honesty, like there was some very good-natured kind of throwing of balls and reporting and some themed throws. I think Morfada taking on the Wet Yeti Coffin kind of format and throwing it back at him, and but there was no real like banter and craziness until there was, and and we'll get to what happened. Um, but race
So
balls. Sorry, carry on.
so here's the thing though. I have to give it up to Catchula. They have really embraced the themed formats. Uh Most notably being VBAT
Yes,
as sort of
absolutely.
their So funny thing, we're ending the Board Game Geek League season, and I'm in a division with 2 of the Catchula players, and I've noticed for next season they're like, "Oh yeah, I'll be in, but I want to change my format to VBAT."
Having so much fun with it, they've even committed to
Yeah,
a whole season at BGG.
so
Love
I
that.
want to. I love when I see the dodgeball effect like in other places, but this is pretty amazing.
No, absolutely, and kudos to Bork as captain. I'm sure he's been encouraging that, or at least giving his players total free reign to go about their business. Because I know Yeti and Yarbo especially,
Yeah.
and Bork himself have been really heavy on that thematic throw, and it's really helped. It's really helped the theme of the season. It's kept it definitely interesting and fun. Now, races out. This is another fairly long game in terms of actions. Races are fairly split. We've got Acox 89, Jace Ascended, the Rippers of Buses and Seas, and Yarbo are all winning their race ball, whilst Morfada, Tyraziel, and Penguin Army take race balls for the Blobberdukes. So, straight out the gate, Seabus Ripper eliminates Morfada, highlighting a dangerous opponent and taking them straight out of the game. Penguin Army returns the favor as Jace Ascended is benched. Tyraziel, though, catches Yarboa and revives Morfada immediately before missing Dark Binkley. Jace Ascended missing Cranky. Acox eliminating Ankolo to try and stem the memes. Wet Yeti dodges Morfada's ball before Penguin Army dodges Borkenbean's ball. Seabus Ripper misses the kinky one as Yarboa dodges Penguin Army. Morfada dodges Wet Yeti, and Acox catches and eliminates Morfada, who's not having as good a round as they did last round, maybe. Kincaid dodges Seabus Ripper's ball before Yarboa dodges the zombie ball from Morfada, but Wet Yeti catches and eliminates the Penguin Army and all his little minions before Yarboa misses Penguin Army for the missed attempt at the double tap. Tyraziel dodges Acox 89 and Kincaid eliminates Acox 89. Cranky Day, though, pops up, catching Yarboa, reviving Mkolo. Wet Yeti dodging the throw from Cranky Day. Yarboa missing Mkolo. Darth Binkley dodging Tyraziel. Yarboa missing Mkolo before Binkley pops up again, eliminating Cranky Day. So Binkley, I mean, I know we've given him some stick in the past, but Mr. Bishop doing the business this round, Al. Yarboa misses Mkolo. Binkley takes out. Oh, did we go? Oh, we already did the Cranky Day hit. I was going to say that was Binkley maybe getting one too many hits. Seabus, though, catches Kincaid, eliminating him. Yeti eliminates Kincaid for the double tap. October dodges Seabus Ripper's ball while Yarboa eliminates Mkolo again. Tyraziel misses Darth Binkley and Yarboa dodges the throw from October before Yarboa, Acox, and Tyraziel eliminate October, Tyraziel, and Binkley, and that's the game over. Now, that seems fairly banal. But what happened was towards the end of the game, who should show up but Throsana, Jesus Christ Superstar, Revenge Tour, cannot be contained on one field of play. Bork has heaven on his mind after JC wins this race. And this is Brent popping up in this thread, beating Bork and Beans in a missions game with a discard 3 and a damage raise. I don't know where this one's come from, if I'm being honest. But then he also does it to Wet Yeti with a colossal 81 differential in another game and a discard too. Bork clearly, sorry, Brent clearly, I think either his court had finished earlier or he simply wasn't satisfied with the refusal of his revival and just started invading another court. And we said it before, like usually there's a court invasion to be had. It's Brent. Odd to see Alderin doing it earlier on in the round, but yeah, Brent up to his old antics again. And there he is, getting in on court 3 action. So it was all very good natured and polite and not much banter until Brent literally crashed through the doors dressed as Jesus Christ Superstar, started throwing out accusations of game victories. So normal programming can be resumed, Al, and that's that game done.
Let's see, MVP.
Yes, MVP.
I think. Ooh, this is a tough one. Yarbo played 12 games and did really, really well. But I think I'm gonna have to go with Acox 89. He got 2 hits and a catch.
Nice. 2 hits and a catch is solid.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that was another good win for Stramborkers. Pipping Blobberduke there closely. But we're going to move to Court 4, another one of those pesky undefeated teams, Al. It's a Nightmare on Realm Street against the winless Agdan. What could possibly go wrong? We already know Alderin.
I was going to say this should finish quick, right?
Right. We already know Alderin was looking at other games because he was so bored. So
yeah.
Yeah, Agdan won frankly a surprising number of races. I mean, we're used to a girl Dodgeballs Alone at Night winning like maybe 1 or 2 balls. We actually got 4 this game. Chasmo, nice. Vaselis, myself, and Super Grandma all won their race ball, whilst Polites, Dusto, and Alderin won race balls for the Nightmare. Chasmo, though, like a man possessed, goes straight after his ex-teammate Dusto from Foils Are Forever and knocks him straight to the bench with what, if you believe the match thread, would be another one of those unlucky, salty kind of bottom decked everything games. And he sits him down in no short order to begin the game in fine form. I threw at Polites because I wanted to make Sabella happy, and then I know what Grandma was drinking this round, honestly, Al, but every time I made a post, Grandma copied my post and chose a different target using exactly the same post. with the names changed. Whether it was a throw or like a hit or a whatever happened, Grandma copied my post and Flydar's as well, and then just changed all the names. It was really quite bizarre, and very very silly in a very Monty Python-esque way. So DG3 dodges the throw from Chasmo. I miss Polites at the first bite of the cherry. Fire Driller dodges Polites' throw. Vaselis dodges Zim's throw. Darklighter dodges Vaselis' throw. So clearly not that easy, Rob. Before Super Grandma, using my templated throw, eliminates Sabella. So clearly not making her happy as I'd intended. But Darklighter misses Vaselis. Dusto misses Poop Deck. Poop Deck dodges the throw from Polites. Hypaspist dodges the throw from DG3 before Hypaspist eliminates Politesk, who was keen to inform me at this point, Al, that that was the first time he's been benched all season. Which is pretty impressive when you think about it. Like, we're in round 7.
Yeah.
That's 6 matches where he's not been benched, which means, obviously, and we know that they'd won every game anyway. So yeah, Polites, courtesy of a massively chaotic and, quite frankly, disgusting trade row, gets sent down. Zim dodges Super Grandma's throw before Flydar catches and eliminates Alderin. Now, Alderin, he got his race ball, and then I presume he threw at what he thought was the most appetizing target on the team, the rookie. Flydar, not anyone's fool though, and takes him out with a catch, benching him immediately, which is maybe why Alderin was sauntering over to court 2 and a bit bored all game. That's right. And I think it might be this point where Vaselis pops up and claims that he's a bit worried about the speech police, perhaps scarred from his treatment in round 6. And I will also say, I think it's around here where, and Grandma can correct me if I'm wrong, but I think Grandma received like a kind of a hurry up about throwing some balls from Polites, who at this point was benched.
Yes.
And it's worth pointing out that at this stage of the race, I mean, we've already had we're probably like 10 to 15 throws have been made, and two whole courts haven't finished their race.
Right.
So 2 games haven't even finished racing, and Polites is worried about the speed of play, which kind of was quite funny. Now Zim, who'd thrown at Super Grandma, actually ends up getting caught, and Super Grandma uses the template I think I used to hit Polites with to catch Zim. Just I don't understand what she was doing, but it was very funny. Zim dodges Poop Deck's throw. DG3 dodges my throw. Flydar dodges Darklighter's throw. Super Grandma dodges Darklighter throw. DG3 misses Poop Deck. I think it's here where Vaselis makes a massively flowery post, a typical Vaselis style, like he's the chosen one. The crowd adore him, like he's sauntering around. Like, he doesn't even throw a ball. He just made a post about talking about throwing a ball, but never actually threw a ball. I can neither confirm nor deny what the goal of that was, but yeah, I can only imagine that the opposition were looking at that, expecting to see a target, and being dissatisfied when there was actually none. So then Darklighter dodges, I think, my throw, and Poop Deck dodges DG3's throw. DG3 dodges Vaselis' throw before DG3 eliminates Vaselis, perhaps payback for his showboating and long hauling. Darklighter misses Flydar. DG3 eliminates Poop Deck. Darklighter eliminates Fire Driller, who I have to give credit to Fire Driller, who staunchly refused to throw his ball at any point during this match. Almost like he was hatching it for Easter because it was an egg. Like, he's literally like, Grandma was like, hey, Robert, anytime you want to throw, he's like, no, I'm good. I am busy. And we're not going to get to it tonight because we're not going to get to round 8, but we might see the the ramifications of that decision come back to bite our hero Fire Driller later on in the coming round. Because Grandma went and read some rules, and did she love what she found? But we're going to get back to this game. DG3 eliminating Visalis, Darklighter missed Flydar. DG3 eliminates Poop Deck, and Darklighter eliminates Fire Driller. So there's a kind of a cascade of hits happening, and DG3 then eliminates Super Grandma, and it's now just, I think, Chasmo and I left. So what had been a kind of a 5-on-2 becomes a 2-on-2, maybe a 3-on-2. I think there were some complaints as well about the number of balls thrown in this game, Al, if I remember rightly. I looked at the stats, and at this stage, the balls thrown were about equal, honestly. And
Yeah.
still, like, way more than anyone else. And I think at this stage, I think one of the other games had only just finished racing. So we're still lots of time going on in this race, in this game. But Darklighter catches Flydar, reviving Dusto, so now it becomes 3-on-2. Dusto dodges my throw. Chasmo eliminates Daryl to bring it back to a 2-on-2. I dodge Daryl's zombie ball. Darklighter misses Chasmo. Chasmo eliminates Darklighter. Chasmo dodges Darklighter's return ball. And then it's just Dusto with Chasmo and myself. DG3 missing Flydar. Oh, is Flydar still alive? Flydar is still alive at this point. I'm terribly sorry to Flydar, but he's still alive, being terribly difficult to remove. Dusto dodges another ball from me before Chasmo eliminates Dusto, and Dusto then throws all his balls. So this is now Chasmo's hit him, and if I remember the game thread again, I think this might be another case of everything was at the bottom and Chasmo drew super hot. But either way, he wasn't 100% confident about the game, and all of a sudden, it's a hit. So Dusto dispatches all the balls he's got, one at everyone. So if he hits everyone, it's a race off.
Mm-hmm.
So he hits me, because I'm easy. He hits Flydar, but he can't hit Chasmo, who squeaks past and dodges the throw. And would you believe it? In amazing fashion, Nightmare on Realm Street are defeated, and Visalis, who's done almost nothing all game apart from duck and weave and bob and go on the bench, makes a victory post on behalf of our team. I think. Oh, that's right. When he did take the ball off Darklighter, he claimed that the crowd was a sixth card for him. In true Flowery Visalis style. But yeah, no, it was a fun game. I think there were a couple of nervous moments where it looked like we were getting heavily picked off. But no, we chose our targets, and we got the game won, which was surprising when you consider that we were the bottom team with no wins, and Nightmare on Realm Street were the top team with all the wins. So yeah, I would love to have been a fly on the wall in their chat afterwards, though, because like surely this would have been a cakewalk, right?
Yeah,
surely. But it wasn't. We gave them a good game, and they were no longer undefeated. So, in terms of MVP, Al, where does that sit?
Oh, excuse me. I mean, you have to give it to Chasmo, right? I mean,
you got to.
He was the last man standing. He got 4 hits, as if that weren't enough. But then just also being the last man standing, getting that last dodge, that was pretty sick.
It was very high drama as well. Like we were all waiting on him, and he just came back with like, oh, I've done it! It was epic. Chasmo popping into chat. Dusto still hasn't responded to my DMs. #sold. Amazing. So MVP for Chasmo with his 4 hits. I think that's reasonable.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, Chasmo has been an absolute legend for us this season. You know, he's a great player, um, as we all know. So that leaves us finally with Court Five. It's the Catch Assist versus Hannibals, and I have to say, as the other team without what's going on here, that you cannot call me while I'm doing a stream. Never mind. We were really as Agdan as the team coming into this winless, we were really pulling for Hannibals in this round. So we'll see what happens. I don't remember a huge amount of sass going on in the thread. I'm looking through it again. Um, but yeah, it's mostly just oh no, there we go, Brent Edward popping up again later on. I see how it is. And if I remember, actually, was round eight. Round eight started while this game was still ongoing, so it was a long, temporarily a long game. And actually, if I look at the goodness me, yeah, it was a long game. So we got Tatiana, Serafina, Bahamut 619, and Lady Stacy Girl Powers. They're taking 4 race balls for the Hannibals as they limit Jonna Ann, 1 Carlos, and Imam 69 to race wins for the catch assists. We've got Imam coming out the gates hot, eliminating the Civics player before Riska catches Imam on the second ball, reviving the Civics player. We've then got 1 Carlos eliminating Vorazori and Riska with back-to-back balls. Patriarch dodging the throw from Bahamut 619. Roland Parr dodging Lady Stacy. Tatiana missing Drew the Rat before Roland Parr eliminates Lady Stacy and Tatiana. But Serafina catches Jonna Ann and revives Vorazori. Patriarch missing Bahamut 619. Zwivix dodging 1 Carlos. Tatiana missing 1 Carlos. And kudos for taking him on. Bahaman 619 dodging Patriarch's ball. Vorazori catching Roland Parr reviving Riska. So we're, what, 17 balls in? 16 balls in? And I make that the 4th catch of the game so far? It's crazy. A lot of revival going on. Jonna Ann dodges Civics. Ninja dodges Civics again. Serafina, though, eliminates Drew the Rat. The Patriarchy dodging Bahamut 619 before missing Vorazori. Serafina eliminating Ninjanin, though. Getting a good result there. And then Patriarch eliminating Vorazori before Vorazori eliminates 1 Carlos. Jonna Ann catching Bahamut 619, reviving Imam 69. Riska dodging Jonna Ann. Serafina eliminating Roland Parr. Literally just these balls. Like, this is a long game, Al, but there's so many deadly balls going on here. It's crazy. Vorazori misses Patriarch. Imam dodges Riska. Zivix eliminates Jonna Ann. Bahamut dodges Imam. Zivix dodges Ninja. Serafina eliminates the Patriarchy, which I'm sure has always been her goal. But the Patriarchy take out Zivix. Serafina dodging Imam 69. Bahamut missing Imam 69. Imam 69 eliminating Riska before Serafina dodges Imam 69's ball. Bahamut missing Imam 69. As I have a feeling that Imam 69 might have been one of the last standing players again, which is a rookie mistake, but you know,
Yeah.
you tell people every season and it doesn't make it any better. Imam
Nope.
eliminates Riska, dodges Serafina, catches Bahamut 619 reviving Drew the Rat, eliminates, again, Imam eliminates Serafina, Bahamut dodges Drew the Rat, Serafina misses Drew the Rat, Bahamut misses Drew the Rat, Serafina misses Imam 69, maybe going to regret that one, Bahamut misses Drew the Rat, Imam dodges Bahamut twice, Bahamut misses Imam, Drew the Rat dodges Bahamut, Bahamut catches Drew the Rat and eliminates them before Imam catches Bahamut, reviving Ninja, then eliminates Bahamut 619, and then Bahamut 619 fires off all of his zombie balls, misses Imam, and then eliminates her twice, but it's too late because Ninja has been revived and is the last man standing. Whew. And so, unfortunately, Hannibals go home without the win that they so desperately wanted. The catch assist live on to go 3-4. The timing on those throws is off. I don't even know what you're talking about, Cranky.
The throws at the end.
I didn't necessarily read them in order.
Oh, okay.
Okay. Yes, we let fact get in the way of a good story there. I'm sorry, Cranky. Anyway, MVP time.
MVP. I think we have to give it to Imam.
Yep.
I mean, she also, just to keep in mind the sheer number, she played 23 games that round.
Which is almost 6 times more than the lowest games played
Yeah.
by the person who's played the
I
least
mean,
games,
Ahama also played 23 games.
which is crazy.
Yeah. Um, but Imam got 4 hits and 2 catches.
That's pretty good by
That's
anyone's standards.
yeah. Let's see. She was 1, 2, 3. Any more? Four. 4 players that round got 4 hits.
I mean, that's testament to how many revives were going on as well, right? Because there were so many
Yeah.
people being brought back from the dead. Um, that's a lot of hits. That was a very
Yeah.
hit heavy game. So Imam the MVP, congratulations to her. So before we go to player of the round and Moneyball, Al, let's take a quick squiz at what what happens going into round 8. So now there's a little bit of oxygen between Midthromar and A Nightmare on Realm Street as Jelly's team managed to stay undefeated, but Politier's team did not. And then hot on the heels of Nightmare is Stramborker's Catchula, who moved up to 5-2. Rocky Horror Picture Throw and the Blobberdukes coming in at 4-3. Bulls Have Eyes and the Catch Assist at 3-4. Invasion of the Dodgy Catchers sitting on their own at 2-5. And then Agdan finally with a win on the board, not bottom anymore. But unfortunately, that's Hannibal's now, who are 0-7, looking for that first win, and they were so close. That really could have been the one.
Yeah.
But they left Imam alive till the end.
Mm-mm.
Don't
That's
care.
something we learned, I think, like in the first season or two.
Yeah. Get rid of it quickly. Don't let it come back. Otherwise, bad
Yeah.
stuff happens. Trademark. So, Al, your player of the round and the money ball for this round. And I know it will be tempting to
Huh.
give it to Baggio again because he started off strong with all those catches at the start of the round, but
Yeah.
let's see who it actually goes to. I'm trusting you won't show favoritism again.
No. So we did have 4 players with 4 hits this round. Me, Chasmo, Imam, and Serafina.
Okay, yeah,
Um, so I'm not going to pick myself,
because there are other
and
options,
because there are other options.
legitimate other options. I should hasten to add.
Yeah. I mean, Serafina had a catch. Imam had 2 catches. However, I have to look, win percentage. This is Serafina had an 83% win percentage,
Oof.
which is considerably more than Imam did.
Yeah,
So even though Imam had an extra catch, I think I'm actually going to give it to Serafina.
an 83% win percentage is still crazy. Like that's
And it's not just on a few games. Serafina played 12 games
yeah,
and won 10 of them.
that's big numbers.
So that's big numbers. So it Imam did a great job and she got MVP for her match, but I got to go for Serafina for
That's
MVP of the round.
that's reasonable. 83% win percentage is crazy. Um,
Yeah.
and so with the player of the round, how about the Moneyball award to the player that brought the most value compared to their draft position, Al?
So I am going to go over to the Blobadukes for their last round pick, Terraziel, who had a
Oh,
75% win percentage.
very nice.
And he got a hit and a catch, which is, and he won his race, which is just excellent for that draft
That's
position.
like the dodgeball hat trick right there.
Yeah, just a little bit of everything.
Very nice. Well, that's where we leave it at round eight. I know, sorry, round seven. I know round eight's completed, but Al's got to get his sleep, and my children need theirs as well. So we're gonna come back to round eight another time, and probably do round eight, and I suspect round nine all at once as well. Thanks everyone for tuning in as always. I'll get these up on YouTube and loaded up so that people can who maybe are Europeans and sleeping through this can read it up at their leisure. Um, and we'll look forward to seeing you next time and enjoy the penultimate rounds of dodgeball because we're coming to a close here now. Al, I think the commissioner wanted to make sure that we talked about some of the upcoming stuff. Was it target practice?
Yes, target practice, which is part of the sort of spring training, the some of the events in between the league, the seasons. So sign up for it. It's just a really good way to practice some catching and throwing, especially practice catch or throw formats. Um, so make sure you sign up. Um, just to get some practice in between seasons. Also, it's just a good way to keep yourself occupied in between seasons because we do need to let Cranky reset for the next season too.
Yeah, he works real hard getting a season set up, so the man needs some
Yeah,
time and prep, and obviously he does all of this on top of a job and a family. So we appreciate his work, and
I
even
believe
when
he was complaining the other day that he had a job to do and it was getting in the way of starting the next round, and he was very upset about
I
that.
I think Cranky's perfect world would be if he could just be paid to run Star Realms dodgeball tournaments like all the time. And I can't say that would
Oh
be a
yeah,
bad position for us to be in either. But
no,
until that happy day, you're going to have to satisfy yourself with target practice in between the seasons, probably a balls of fire, maybe the one-on-one stuff that comes up as well. Um, and I'm sure at some point Cranky's going to do another small teams tournament, the three team that we have. Um,
oh yeah, the squad skirmish.
yeah, squad skirmish is another great one to try out captaining and try out like lots of crazy formats that you wouldn't necessarily do in the main dodgeball season. But yeah, thanks ever so much for tuning in. We will see you next time when we'll probably have rounds eight and nine for you. It's good night from me, and it's good night from him.
Good night.
Good night.